Well, it would truly not be Christmas without some holiday treats, and I don't know about you, but I'm usually looking for ones that are uncomplicated, easy, and preferably no-bake. And so today's recipes, I'm going to be sharing some simple no-bake recipes that are delicious, that'll be perfect for cookie exchanges, or even if you just want to share them with friends and family. If you are ready to start no-baking, this is the video for you. And hey, if we haven't met before, my name is Ange, welcome, and this is the Menu Made Kitchen. Okay, so for this first recipe I'm sharing with you, this is a no-bake white Christmas Chex Mix. My husband actually calls this Christmas crack because once you sit down with it and start eating it, you can't stop. It is so delicious and it's super easy to throw together. You don't have to bake off the Chex Mix. You just melt some chocolate, throw it all together, and then enjoy it with your friends and family. It's super festive. It's a fun recipe to share with anyone during the holidays. I think you're gonna love it. All right, so for our no-bake white Christmas Chex Mix, this is gonna be a fun recipe. So I think I'm gonna mix everything into my large pan here, but I wish I had one of the disposables because that would be even easier. But we gotta start out with our cereal mix. So we've got 3 cups of Rice Chex cereal. We also have 3 cups of Golden Grams. We're gonna do 3 cups of Bugles, just the plain ones. I really like Bugles in Chex Mix. I think it just is a fun texture. And then we're gonna use 2 cups of the little square pretzels. And then we have 1 cup of roasted salted peanuts. You can definitely use whatever kind of nuts that you like. You can do almonds, cashews. I'm gonna give this a light mix. Okay, let's move this over here. We are gonna be melting our white chocolate. And what I'm using for my white chocolate is the Ghirardelli vanilla flavored melting wafers. I feel like it's Christmas time, so I'm gonna use the good stuff. I think this is like $4.25 a bag, and I am gonna be using 2 bags. Okay, there's 1 bag, and in goes 2. You can also use like the almond bark, or you can do white chocolate chips. We are gonna pop our wafers in the microwave, and we are gonna cook it in 30-second intervals until the chocolate is completely melted, and we'll stir in between. Every microwave is different, so you may need to go longer, or it can go shorter. And now that our chocolate is melted, I am going to drizzle this over the top of our mixture. And you want to work pretty quickly. I like to actually do just about half of it first, and then I'm going to toss it in, and then we'll add the rest of it. All right, well, I started mixing because I had stopped recording for a second. Anyway, you can see that I have mixed that first layer together, and then we want to add in the rest of our white chocolate. I was saying when it was not recording, just what a fun recipe this would be for a Christmas party, a really yummy munchie to have on hand for sure. Or share it as a gift, put it in little fun Christmas containers or those fun Christmas baggies. Okay, now that we have most of that coated, I'm gonna go ahead and add in, we have 2 cups of mini M&Ms. And then I'm also going to add in 1 cup of these crushed peppermint candies. You could take candy canes if you can't find this at your grocery store and just crush a bunch. But I think it would be a fun, or I think it's going to be a fun flavor to have in this mixture. And I'm just going to start out with maybe a half a cup and then maybe scatter a little bit on top. Just give it a light toss as best we can so that we don't smush everything. We are going to be spreading this out on a sheet pan with parchment paper and allow it to kind of cool and set. So don't stress out if you don't get everything mixed up because we are going to be dumping this out on a pan. I just think that looks so fun and festive. It's beautiful too. Let me grab my sheet pan. I'm going to dump this out here on my sheet pan. So the reason we are actually putting it out on a sheet pan is because I'm going to kind of go through and just separate some of the pieces so there aren't any huge clumps. If we left it in that pan or you leave it in a bowl to cool, then it'll all clump together. I actually had a little bit of my melted chocolate left, so I put it back in the microwave for like 15 seconds just to make sure that I could drizzle it. So I'm just going to take this extra stuff and just drizzle it over the top. Really to make it look pretty, but also because you know, you can't have enough of this white chocolate on here, right? Some extra M&Ms and some of our crushed candy cane. So fun. This is definitely my kind of baking right here. Really easy. It didn't even have to turn on the oven. We are gonna let this cool for a little bit and then we get to taste it. All right, check this out. It's like a Christmas party in a cup. How adorable. And I may or may not have fished out myself a little bugle cluster because that's like my favorite thing in Chex Mix. All right, let's give this a try. Okay, that is excellent. I'm not a big white chocolate kind of gal. I really like milk chocolate or dark chocolate, but I love the flavor of it. It's got that little hint of vanilla and just adds some sweetness. But you can still taste the toastiness of the bugles and the cereal. This is awesome. I know that your friends and family are going to enjoy this, or even if you're just going to make it for yourself. What a great thing to make during the holidays. This is a keeper. Okay, so for our no-bake butterscotch cookies, or sometimes they're called clusters, we're gonna add 2 cups of butterscotch chips to our large skillet here. And I have this set on like a medium-low heat. And then we're gonna add in 1/4 cup of peanut butter. And this is Jiffy peanut butter. I don't like using natural peanut butter for this recipe, but you certainly can. I just like the consistency of Jiffy or Skippy. So the only thing we need to do is get our baking chips melted and the peanut butter incorporated, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, this mixture is pretty much smooth. There's still a couple little chunks in there, but I'm not gonna worry about it. So I'm gonna turn off the heat and we're gonna add in 3.5 cups of cornflakes. Pretty much we're just gonna toss this to coat the flakes, and then we'll move over to the cutting board and start getting them on our sheet pan. I have my sheet pan here and I just lined it with some parchment paper. You can also do wax paper. I have a couple of spoons and I'm just gonna take basically a little spoonful of my mixture and plop it right down on my parchment. And the only reason I have this is because sometimes it'll get kind of sticky once this gets used a few times. So you wanna work pretty quickly because we do want to make sure that the top is tacky enough to add our Christmas sprinkles. I'm gonna get the rest of these on my pan and then we will start adding our sprinkles. Okay, I am gonna have to grab another sheet pan, but I just kind of wanted to show you what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna add a little bit of flaky sea salt to the top because I think it'll just be so yummy with that sweetness. You could even do like coarse kosher salt if you have that, or even just kosher salt. But I thought it would be a fun touch. You won't really see it on there, but you'll taste that little bit of saltiness. And then I have some fun Christmas sprinkles. Check these out. So pretty and festive. And I'm just gonna top each cookie with some of my sprinkles, just to make it fun. Now, if you don't wanna do the sprinkles and you wanna make these another time of year, just leave it off. But we gotta be festive with the Christmas season. All right, I need to get my other sheet pan out and finish assembling the rest of this. We do need to let this sit for several hours. I am gonna pop these in the fridge to kind of speed up the process a little bit, but generally probably a couple of hours in the refrigerator, but you can also leave them out on the counter for several hours just to make sure that they're completely set up and they're not sticky. You want them to be firm and set. So these have actually been in the refrigerator for a couple of hours and they're nice and firm. It's all set. Oh man. Okay, now this tastes like Christmas to me because butterscotch is so rich, kind of caramely. These are fantastic, super delicious, Really easy to make. I love that they're no bakes, and a fun little cookie treat that you can take to a party, or if you have a cookie exchange. Do they even do those anymore these days? I haven't been to one of those in years, but this would be a great cookie to share. If you have never tried these butterscotch cookies, you have to give them a try. All right, for our Cowboy Christmas bark, we got to start by melting our chocolate. I'm going to use two different kinds of chocolate. I'm going to do milk chocolate and dark chocolate. And I'm going to use the good stuff. I've got Ghirardelli here, so I've got 1 cup of milk chocolate chips. And then I'm going to do 1 cup of dark chocolate chips. So all I need to do is I'm going to pop this in the microwave for 30 seconds. We'll give it a stir, and then I'll put it back in every 15 seconds and stir it until it's melted. Okay, so as you can see, our chocolate is melted. So I'm going to add just a couple more ingredients. This is definitely optional, but I'm going to do about 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Now, this is not going to make it like spicy necessarily. It's just going to give a little something to make people question like, huh, is there a little bit of spice in there? And then we're also going to add in 1/8 of a teaspoon of almond extract. And this is optional as well, but I really like the flavor of it. It just gives it a touch of like depth. So we'll add that little touch in, give it a stir. Okay, let me grab my sheet pan. All right, so what I did was I sprayed my sheet pan with nonstick spray, and then I laid down parchment paper. And the reason I sprayed it was just so the parchment wouldn't slide all over the place when I'm trying to spread out the chocolate. So we're going to get our chocolate onto the sheet pan. You're going to want to work pretty quickly here because the chocolate does set up fairly fast. And just an FYI, I did prep all of my ingredients beforehand. I got my pretzels broken up. I got my Oreos chopped up. That way it's all ready to go to start sprinkling once you have this on the sheet pan. You definitely don't want to prep the ingredients after this step because obviously the chocolate will set and that won't be good. So I'm going to spread it out into like 1/8 of an inch rectangle, roughly. This does not have to be perfect. It's going to be bark and it's going to be broken up into pieces anyway and kind of rustic, but we're kind of going for that shape as best we can. I feel like I sound very nasally today. I don't know why. I'm not sick or anything. Maybe it's the weather. It's been super windy and rainy today. I think that that looks pretty darn good. We're going to start piling on the goodies. So I've got some pretzels here, about a cup of pretzels that I've just broken up into pieces. Just scatter right over the top. And you don't want to obviously completely cover this with pretzels because we need room for the other stuff. So just kind of lay down whatever you think, however many you want. And then we're going to add some Oreo pieces. I roughly chopped these, or you could even do like crumbs, you know, if you want to like pulse them in the food processor. How fun and so easy. I just love stuff like this. And I love desserts where it doesn't have to look perfect. Like the more rustic, the more beautiful it looks. And then we've got some toffee chips. Is that what you call them? Little toffee pieces. I love the flavor of toffee. Okay, that looks good. We're also going to do some chopped up pistachios. Now I'm just kind of throwing it on there. I don't really care. And then I have some sliced toasted almonds. So you'll kind of see, like once I get this on here, I'm going to press it down and we'll make sure that it gets good and stuck on there. 2 more ingredients. I'm going to do a little bit of sea salt because I think that a little salt in chocolate is so good. And then to make it more Christmassy, I've got some Christmas sprinkles, little red and green candy canes. These don't have any flavor. This just is making it look Christmassy. But the cool thing is if you don't make this for Christmas, you can make this any other time of year and just leave off the sprinkles. perfect. How cute is that? Okay, I'm just gonna take my hands and lightly press down and get everything to kind of stick. Okay, check this out. Yum. I mean, this thing is so fully loaded. All right, sad news is we got to place this in the refrigerator. We need to let the chocolate harden and set up. It'll probably take about an hour and a half or so. It really just depends. Sometimes my refrigerator runs a little bit colder. So we'll do that, and then we'll get it broken up into pieces, and then we get to taste it. All right, our bark is cooled and set. So it was about an hour and a half, and I feel like it's pretty firm. So you already know what I'm gonna do. And as you can see, it comes off the parchment really, really easily. So we're just gonna break this into chunks. I'm gonna do this really rustically. I kind of want, you know, some big pieces and small pieces, but look how fun that is. And just really easy. I feel like it's such a festive thing to share at a party too. Who doesn't love a loaded, you know, chocolate bark like this? And what's fun about this is you can have a lot of fun with the toppings. Use any kind of cookie or nuts, or different shaped pretzels, candies. So very easy to customize. Okay, this is pretty much ready to go. We are going to give these a taste. All right, check this out. Does not look so good. You know what's great about this bark is it travels really well, and it also keeps for a long time. So you could keep it at room temperature for a few weeks, or you can pop it in the fridge or the freezer, and it will be still fresh and delicious. Okay, let's give this a try. Oh wow. Super, super chocolatey, and the texture of all that stuff on top. This is like a special Christmas treat. I feel like I got chocolate in my teeth. This is so good. And as you saw, easy to make in like 10 minutes. Really, the only time that you have to wait for is the sitting. This is so good. I think you're really gonna enjoy this treat. And if you don't make it for Christmas, make it for a party or a dinner party. Everyone will love it. Well, I hope that you found some inspiration in today's video and have some holiday treats now that you can make that are simple and you don't even have to turn your oven on for. Don't forget, all the recipe links are down in the descriptions. And hey, if you're new here, I'd love for you to be part of my YouTube family, so make sure to subscribe. I have had so much fun this last year sharing recipes with you and connecting with you. Each one of your comments means so much to me. Sadly, this is my last video for 2024. I hope that you have a blessed holiday, and we will see you next time.